Okay, yeah, it's recording. I like it. That's really lovely. I think we have like enough people to start the session. Couple of ground rules. First, I'm not gonna make it boring. Second, if you have any doubts, make sure that you raise your hand and then ask your doubts if you're confident enough, and you can do it regardless. And thirdly, if you can probably just write your doubts in the chat box. I'm gonna address it as I'm going through every slide. And fourthly, just mute yourself. I think you guys are pretty much sensible. Yes, Mehak, do you have anything to say?
Actually, I'm having some queries about this meeting. Like, can you
Yeah.
tell me what are we going to do? Is there anything specific that we are going to do in this meeting? And I was saying that I joined because I wanted to do a speech session, and as I can like, and when I saw your background, it's like Indian debating league, but I thought it was in speech.
Okay, Ankur, can you mute yourself? Yes, Mehak, a couple of things, objectives of this meet is, since we're organizing this tournament called Chandigarh Debating League, we have this training session. So the first training session is dedicated to orientation and then understanding what turncoat debate is. So your question about, are we going to learn speech today? I think it's yes, post the orientation. So if you are in turncoat, or let's say if you are in WSDC, you will have that training opportunity with me. You will go through every slide and you will have that. But Mehak, I don't know which category are you in and what format are you doing? Are you here for Turncoat or are you here for WSDC?
Actually, when I saw the poster, I registered myself for speech, not for debate.
Okay, so I think I'll take speech as Turncoat. So Turncoat is a format in which you speak from both the sides, for and against. And you will have that opportunity to understand Turncoat today. So if you want to stay for orientation, I would really love that. And if you really want to understand speech, I think it's post the orientation, which is 30 minutes from now. But I want you to stay for orientation is because you'll understand and have all your doubts cleared in that orientation. Does that make sense? And Deepika ma'am, if you can give me like rights, sharing rights.
Okay, I'll stay, and thank you for helping me.
Oh yeah, that's my job. Cool. Great. Do tell me with the
Yeah, I have given you the host rights, and now you are going to be recording as well. So yeah, you can just screen share. Everyone, just please stay on mute, and all the doubts will be addressed when ma'am is going to go through a blank slide. Thank you so much.
Oh, I think the recording is still going on. I don't know if it's happening from my device or yours, but if it's happening from yours, I'm okay.
No, it's
Even if it's
happening.
happening from mine, it's fine.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's
okay.
happening from your. You are the host now. So once you will end the session, it will automatically save on the cloud.
Oh yeah, thank you so much. Great. Hi, welcome everybody to Chandigarh Speech and Debate League. Ideal's entire motive is to make sure that we spread debating to every nook and crannies of India. So we've organized like multiple debating formats in Chandigarh, like we're doing it in Chandigarh right now. We've had it in Tamil Nadu, we've had it in Mumbai, we've had it in Delhi, and I think we're trying to expand the notion of debating because I personally think that debating is an extremely great activity. It helps you have meaningful conversations with people all around the globe in the very first place, and it's like really great skill to have. I mean, if you really want to negotiate with different people on a regular basis, if you want to have meaningful conversations, if you really want to chat with your friends and bring something interesting or bring a random fact out of nowhere that really intrigues people, I think it's really, really nice. A couple of ground rules as well. If you do not understand me, like if you do not understand any point that I'm trying to say right now, you can just like raise your hand, tell me to stop, I'll repeat it once again. I have no problems doing that. Yes. Yeah, sure. I mean, the recording is going to be posted today regardless. So I'm recording for a reason. It will go on the group. So people who have missed, who couldn't join because they had classes or any other sessions, they can watch it. Yep, amazing. What is ideal? I think it's Indian Debating League, but also our main motive is to make sure that we spread debating. But most importantly, we really want to engage with people on a very personal level. So whenever you go to your school, you open like multiple chapters, you sort of like learn a lot of theoretical knowledge. But what debating gives you exclusively is two things. First, like a level of interaction with other people, but secondarily, it really helps you move beyond your books as well, because debating is just like a repository. So if you're like a person who's debated for like 10 years, 12 years, or even like starting to debate, you might eventually see a lot of progression in your own individuality. So whenever you like start, let's say, talking to other people, you would genuinely feel like, okay, I'm really speaking smart things. And Saurabh, please don't do this. I actually made this slide out of like so much hard work. I stayed up night doing that. So yeah, do not mark it. And if you really want to mark it, please make a good artwork at least. Great, no issues. Yeah. So it's a most prestigious public speaking and debating tournament. We've had like 68,000 debaters across the globe participating in our tournaments, trying to understand the format. And the formats are very specific, which means if you are genuinely not even interested in debating, you would actually learn something, because these formats are sort of universal. So if you're very new to debating, if you learn the formats that I'm going to explain you in this orientation today, it's going to help you regardless. Like if you aren't even interested in debating, it might help you. So it's just like a fun activity. We've had like 100 plus debating tournaments. So we've had that prestige to at least have cooperative collaborators across the country. We've had like 300 premium schools, just like every school that you're coming from and attending this orientation today. We've had that opportunity to organize and collaborate with them. So like extremely grateful for that. And we've had like grade 17 plus global wins. So let's say you really are interested in debating, or you really want to understand this topic, and you participate in one tournament and you win that tournament. So most of the people who've actually won tournaments, they have gone to like prestigious universities like Stanford, Harvard, Oxford, and like Trinity, etc. So all of these like tournaments really give you an exposure of what the university applications across abroad really need. So it's like an additional skill which really makes you much more empowered and really makes you ponder what you have to do with your life as well, because you get like multiple topics across like rounds. So you have like multiple rounds in a debating tournament, right? And whenever you go to every round, you might have different topics that you get familiarize yourself with. Let's say politics. If you're interested in politics, and round one is about politics. So you start discussing about it. So you know a lot about politics. Second round is about economics. So you start learning about economic concepts. Third round is about, let's say, international relations, which means global politics. Or let's say it's about big technology. Or let's say it's about, wait, there's so many formats. Just so many myriad types of formats which are available across the country or across the globe. It just makes your like theoretical concepts from books and come out at live. So it really helps you have that exposure in the very first place. And yes, thank you so much for joining in this session. I promised I wouldn't make it really, really boring. But yeah, this is a live understanding of what kind of collaborations we've had and the credibility of the organization and the way you can probably have that opportunity to debate in these universities in the very first place. So on a thumb, like you have to raise your hand when I ask you this question. How many of you are genuinely interested in debating and would want to have that international exposure? Just raise your hand. Oh yeah, I see two. Yeah, I was about to get disappointed, but I really like the enthusiasm. Oh, great. Great that you're actually hearing me as well, because most of the times in sessions, people sleep. Oh yeah, that's really lovely. Great, you can put your hands down because I could see hands across. Great. So my second question, how many of you are trying to apply to international colleges abroad? I'm not saying debating as a skill is only exclusive to, oh, I'm going to go to the New York University, oh, I'm going to go to Czech Republic. I mean, nobody chooses Czech Republic anyway, but yeah, I'm going to go to like Princeton, Harvard, etc. Okay, I see a couple of hands. Oh, great, that's lovely. Even if you want to like apply to or let's say a national college, just like IIT Bombay, or maybe just like a Delhi University, any of the top colleges from there, debating helps you regardless, because you know this is the case, right? I'll tell you names of really popular debaters. So David Africa is one debater, and people know David Africa. But now here's the case: people have also started knowing the university that David Africa goes to. So Ateneo National University is the university that David Africa belongs from, and people have started knowing that, and that's really lovely. So even if you're from a college which you think is relatively unknown, if you become like a great debater, you are doing two things. First, gaining like a lot of prestige, but you're also trying to gain a lot of credibility to your own school in the very first place, or your own college in the very first place. So that's like a additional advantage that you get. Yep, I'll wait for like 5 seconds if you guys have any doubts. Put your hands down if you have no doubts till now. I'll move forward. That's really lovely. Yep, introducing the mega tournament, Chandigarh Debate League. So we have 3 things, and I want you all to be very specific with where are we going here. So Chandigarh Speech and Debate League is a debating league which we are trying to organize in order to make like debate a very universalized language in the very first place. And we've come to Chandigarh, so that's a good thing. We are having training from today onwards till 2nd of August, which means you will have 3 days of extensive training trying to understand the format that you've registered for. And most of you have registered for 2 of the formats, which was there in the registration form when you applied it. First, it was Turncoat, and second, it was World Schools Debating Championship. And I really appreciate that you guys are at least trying to register for a debating tournament like this, would want to, let's say, invest a lot of time like this. I see a couple of like things here in the chat box. I'll just address it. Oh, wait, okay. Thanks. Okay. Topic are given on the spot for debate, or we will be aware of topics already. We will be giving you topics after the end of this session, so do not worry. When I release this recording today, I'm going to give you topics as well, so you do not have to worry about that. Yes, I'm just letting people in. Second thing, qualifiers. So whenever you go into a debate tournament, it will have preliminary rounds. Preliminary rounds is all about, let's say, selecting people who will actually go to out rounds. So there are 2 things, in rounds and out rounds. In rounds is also called preliminary rounds, or let's say qualifier rounds, right? So everybody has this opportunity to debate in qualifier rounds because everybody registered for it, right? And qualifiers is all about making sure the top teams sort of go to semis and finals, which is going to be held offline in Chandigarh as well. So let's say you make like the top cut in qualifiers, and then you get selected for semis and finals, which will be held on 14th of August in Chandigarh. Like if you guys are in Chandigarh, great. Like if you qualified the preliminary round, it's great as well. And yeah, this is the entire schedule. We are having this for every grade, which means today 3 grades are operating. You will have like a junior category, you will have a middle category, and you're like a part of the senior category here. Yes. Amazing. What are you going to get? Like everybody talks about that, hey, what I'm going to earn from this session, or maybe what am I even getting if I register for this tournament? You will get like 5 things. First, you will get like TED Talks. TED Talks, I swear to God, are not boring. When I felt like I don't know what I have to do, I become aimless, I go to TED Talks because TED Talks are really knowledgeable. Like if you've like watched TED Talks by, let's say, Stevie Gravy or a lot of these expert public speakers, they're also like debaters in the very first place. Because what is the quality of a debater? A, they're persuasive, but second, they want to get their concept out in the world. So whoever you talk to, you just do not want to label yourself as debaters, but sure, if you want to label yourself as debaters, you have something to give to the world, and that contribution is somewhat TED Talks too. So if you are probably doing this, you will have this opportunity to have TED Talks as well, and we have this opportunity to invite like top 6 students. This is something that's like very logistical. We'll get into that a little later. But you will also get expert sessions and panel discussions about the topics that you feel are really confusing or which you think can actually contribute into your debate knowledge as well. So whatever you learn in expert panels and sessions, you can actually contribute that or apply that into your debating formats, or let's say your speeches as well. So hey, I listened to this TED Talk, I want to really go ahead and apply it here as well. Yes, you will get media recognition and certification and awards. Like who doesn't like a medal, who doesn't like a trophy, or who doesn't like that kind of limelight that, hey, I won something. The reason why I'm talking about David Africa is because I know David Africa from a media recognition standpoint. So I really love debating. I look at David African, like all of his debating videos, and I'm like, okay, wow, he actually knows a lot of debating. Yep. So that's something that you'll get. You also get like compact masterclasses, which is one of them. And lastly, people who qualify, heavy, like congratulations, you get to come to Chandigarh. I mean, Chandigarh is a great place. I mean, all the Bollywood films sort of were, let's say, I would say most of them were recorded or let's say filmed in Chandigarh because of its absolutely lovely location. And yeah, that's all that you're getting. But I really love your enthusiasm. Okay, great. What is the theme of this? I will take a second And I want you all to answer this because I do think that you're like a passive listener at this point of time. What do you understand by pop culture? I do not want like a standard definition of, hey, pop culture is just movies and films. I know we all know pop culture is gonna seemingly look like that, but I want you to make me understand what's pop culture. Yep, Manit.
Shall I go ahead?
Wait. Oh yeah, just a second. Okay, guys, please like mute yourself. Okay. Oh yeah, I'll have to do the honors. Yes, Manit, go ahead.
Okay. So basically, popular culture includes the everyday things which influence our lives. Everything which has an impact on our mind. It can be a video of an influencer or a news article which influences our thoughts and our mindset, which can include both, which is generally termed as popular culture, like songs and videos and these stuff.
Oh yeah, I think that makes sense. Yes, Saurav.
Hello, ma'am. So, ma'am, first of all, I'm so sorry, ma'am, for that. Ma'am, actually, I was not aware of that. Ma'am, actually, I was so sorry.
Oh yeah, you were the
Yes,
one who
ma'am.
were drawing. Why
Yes,
would you
ma'am.
do
Yes.
that?
Ma'am, actually, I was not aware. Ma'am, I think that, ma'am, that only is visible for me, not just for all, ma'am. Actually, I'm not a regular Zoom user, so please pardon
Oh
me
yeah,
this time.
it's fine. It happens.
Please, if you remove, I think I will remove. Okay, ma'am, just a minute later. Yes, ma'am. Pop culture, ma'am. According to me, ma'am, I think ma'am, pop culture is like, ma'am, the latest trend, ma'am. Whatever you see on social media, like Insta, Twitter, like any celebrity or any person, like influence any other, like what's the latest trend, like someone is copying someone other, like what's the latest updates, like what going all around the world or our country, our religion, our local area, maybe.
Okay, that's nice. I think that's a new twist to the definition because everybody of you would end up saying movies or films. So yeah, I think it's the latest trend. I mean, any meme, like
Yes, ma'am.
okay. Yeah, even Barbenheimer is a meme which has gone viral. It's a part of the popular culture. Yes, thanks, Aura, for that. Yes, Mansira. Okay, I'll just recognize people in chronological order, just like you do that in MUNs. Mansirat. Okay, wait. Did you lower hand? Okay, great. Mansirat, if you still want to talk. And then it's Tanmay, then Yamini, then Ramjo, then Aradhya, then Udayveer. I will give everybody of you to like talk because it's an interactive session at the end of the day. Yes, you guys can begin.
Okay, so I think pop culture, like it's also known as popular culture. So it's spread mainly through social media like Instagram, Twitter, and stuff. And I think it's supposed to aim at younger subset of people that are interested in all those, gossips and scandals and stuff.
Oh yeah, that's actually true. I mean, most of the gossips and scandalous stuff really go viral and they sort of become the trend. I think it's also like it has both pros and negatives. That's a good point. Yes, Jamini.
Yes, so according to me, pop culture is like something that's on people's mind, that's influencing them, even entertaining them. Like a meme or just a vlog like that, everybody knows about.
Yeah, I think that's correct. Ramjot?
I think pop culture for me would mean anything that goes mainstream. It could go from politics to the entertainment industry, anything that becomes so mainstream that it, like the name suggests, gets embedded in our everyday culture and also influences our day-to-day life. That, like, even if we're not paying attention to that thing, it is so embedded in our day-to-day lives that that one specific topic could somehow be at the back of our mind all the time or is somewhere around us.
Yeah, that's really lovely. I think we've all had that twist of Bollywood. And I think most of the things that happen in our life, we sort of like situated back to the films or the movies that we sort of like watched. So popular culture is so entrenched into a personality. So and in every conversations, you see that relevance, you see that reference. So I think that's a correct definition. Yes, I'll just recognize people because I think so many people are raising their hands. You just do it like after your name is done, remember like who's going next, and you just like unmute yourself. So Aradhya, then Mansirat, then Arush, then Udevir, then Harshini. Yep, you guys can.
So to me, pop culture is something which, especially entertainment kind of things like movies, TV shows, music, which can be made by any like a multi-billion dollar company or some small creator from a small studio in a city or something like that. The thing is that they all produce some creative stuff, and some of the it's like an interconnected network which some people criticize the stuff made by some other people and some people appreciate it.
Exactly. It's like a balanced view. Yep. Who's next? Can go.
A very good evening, everyone. I think pop culture to me is the modern culture that influences our day to day life and which is popular among people. And it's not only just movies, and I feel like it's something in food, series, and more than that.
Yep, that's correct. Who's next?
Yeah, so next. So generally, I summarize pop culture as an impact or any interest that anyone likes it. For example, you just like vlogs, so you just go on YouTube and like you go for your any favorite vlogs or any favorite YouTuber that you like. Let's say you have a more interest in music, so you can just go upon YouTube and just search upon the trending creators or anything of music, and you like their music, so you become influenced. So that's what I refer to pop culture. And there are many other things like cooking and gaming and anything. So in gaming there are many things like Twitch, YouTube. There is also now a platform on Facebook where you can do gaming. So generally, gaming nowadays is a more in pop culture, which is like influence to every youth. And so there are, you can even say that in gaming there is a lot of career also. If you are a good player, you go into esports and everything. So that's what nowadays gaming is more of a pop culture influenced or more famous. And after that I can summarize that music is a moreover pop culture that everybody likes, or everybody like, you can't say that you don't like music. That's a very vague term to say that I don't like music.
Ah, okay, cool. Thanks, Arush. Yes, who's next? I think we're left with like two more people. Let me proceed. Oh wait, three more people. My bad. Yep. Oh wait, are you beatboxing, Udavir? I like that. Ah, okay. I'll just mute you. I'll just mute you. Oh, come on. Who's serious about pop culture? Please, just like, yes, Harshini, go ahead.
So for me, I think pop culture is like influencing youngsters, particularly on a large scale, via social media or any other platforms. And it is not just limited to entertainment industry. It can be in fashion industry, in food, in gaming, anything you can think of in your daily life. Yeah.
Ah, okay, that makes sense. Yeah. Saurabh, then Samriddhi, then Paramveer.
Oh, so sorry, ma'am. Actually, ma'am, I have spoken, ma'am, but ma'am, my hand wasn't lower.
Ah, okay,
Ma'am,
chill,
let
chill.
let them
Yeah,
give the
cool.
other chance, ma'am. Ultimately, I was gonna win. So sorry.
Okay, yes,
That other
sure.
gives a chance. That
Oh
other
yeah,
gives a
yeah,
chance.
sure. Yes, Samriddhi, Paramveer, go ahead.
Can I go on? To me, pop culture is basically a set of things or beliefs that tend to have a long lasting effect on people's mind and influence them. It can be in either positive or a negative way, depending upon how people take it. Like, if it's a good song or a good music, it tends to leave a long lasting, better or positive effect on people. If it's a
Yeah, that's
scandal,
really nice.
like
Yeah,
if
thanks for that definition. Oh yeah, if you want to continue.
like if it's a scandal, then maybe it can leave a negative impact on a people, or it is a gossip, then it can lead to negative effects on people as per how they take it.
Yeah, that's true. That can be one of the argumentation in any debate that you're doing is about pop culture, mental health, and its impact. I'm going to tell you how to write a debate speech as well. I think that's going to take like 5 minutes and it helps like all of you. So if you've signed up for this, I think you should know the tips and tricks as well. Yes, Paramveer. Okay, wait. Samriti was there. Okay, Samriti spoke. Hmm. Hey, Paramveer.
Ma'am, may I?
You were next. Oh, yeah.
So, pop culture stands for popular culture that describes the lifestyle and taste of majority of mostly young people. And pop culture simply donates a widely accepted group of practices or customs.
Yeah, that's correct. Yes, Udevi, if you're not beatboxing, you can definitely go with your definition. Okay, you're actually beatboxing. Let it be. You can write down your definition in the chat box. I'll read it out. And yes, please fix your mic because it sounds like you're doing Afro beats. Yeah, amazing. So all of you, if I combine most of your analysis or let's say most of your definition, it's going to become an 8-minute speech. And that's like a really lovely thing. I asked you one thing, which is what is pop culture? And I get like 7 different definitions. And I really like that, which is what debating is. It's genuinely showcasing the remarkability of argumentations. And that's really lovely. What's popular culture? Let's make it really simple. One, it's movies and films, like the way you see everything on TV and everything that you probably track, like Bollywood news, Hollywood news, everything is a part of the pop culture. So pop culture is the largest ecosystem. And in that ecosystem, you have a couple of things. You have memes, you have viral videos, you have, let's say, one-liners. So if you guys like are on Instagram, you would see that one-liner quotes or one-liner poetry is somewhat a part of pop culture as well, because it is also something which is influenced by everybody in the world. And pop culture has the largest segment in it, and that tree is called celebrities. If you look at all the celebrities, you would understand they form the largest part of that ecosystem, be it Taylor Swift, be it Ariana Grande, be it Justin Bieber, be it Ed Sheeran, be it like, let's go to Frank Ocean and all of these lovely singers and artists, right? They form a part of the popular culture. And what makes popular culture really a possibility? It's you fans, right? So if you do not really go check out, let's say Justin Bieber's new album, or let's say Travis Scott's new album, you're actually missing out in a lot of things, right? So it has so much of an implication. It genuinely dictates the way you go ahead and lead your life. So if now everybody's genuinely trying to go to Egypt, now the show is cancelled, they're because they're fans of Travis Scott, they want to buy his new merchandise, they want to do a lot of things, right? So popular culture is the largest ecosystem. Put all of your definition in that largest ecosystem, you will have like an amazing definition. I'll take like one doubt that I find. Yes, Manit, you can go ahead.
Okay, so is the mainstream media included in popular culture?
Yeah, obviously.
Okay, okay. Like
Yeah.
the news and stuff also.
Sorry?
The news and stuff also.
I wouldn't say news would form like a part of pop culture because pop culture is more related to entertainment. And I don't think so. News probably like perpetuates entertainment. Right now, if the news is like joking, sure, like popular culture. Yes, great. So whenever you start debating about popular culture, you have to keep like a couple of things handy. And this is also true for any of the debate speeches you make about popular culture. We're just trying to understand the theme here, but I'm just trying to resurface into, let's say, a debate topic. The topic is pop culture. It's true for WSDC, it's true for Turncoat as well. Whenever you write your debate speech, always ask questions, the most simple questions: what, where, when, how. And if you have all of these questions answered, you will have a speech ready as well. So what are these questions that I'm trying to like imply towards? First is what are the ups and downs of popular culture? This looks like negativity and let's say positivity. So pros and cons of popular culture. Can somebody tell me the pros and cons of popular culture? We're running short on time, so I'm gonna, let's say, take like one person who will tell me like pros and cons of popular culture. Or let me be charitable really. I'll take two people who will tell me pros and cons. So I'm going to grant an opportunity to tell me pros. Samriddhi, okay, wait, Samriddhi, you've spoken like a little later. So I'm going to take Bhavya for cons. Yeah.
Yeah. So for the pros, when we are an influence of the pop culture, we get to learn about various languages. We learn on how people convey their messages so beautifully. We learn that technique. We also come across various technologies that are popular these days.
Oh, so your argument is information. Nice. Yes, Grant. Yes,
Okay,
Bhavya,
so
I will come. Yeah, go ahead, go ahead.
yes, ma'am. So, I was told, I'm not that much I know about pop culture, but I know that everything has two sides. So everything has pros and cons. Both cons is just like today, a small child taking a small child or a young person. Everyone is like on social media and seeing this popular culture. Some are influences themselves, but the small children also get to know many things, like the thing they should get to know when they are little adult. Like children are becoming adult in a really small age, and I think that this can be a con of pop culture.
Yes, that's really nice. Yes, Grant.
Basically, pop culture is a kind of a thing which mostly people follows. It can also be a bad and a good thing, but mostly it's bad. Just because most of the people on like it's like on Instagram, uh, people create reels, and those reels are very influential for the other people, and so I guess that creates a bad impact on on some people, but it's more like an even match. Hello.
Exactly. Oh, yeah, exactly. You're correct. Just a sec. I'll just switch on my camera.
Okay, now.
Yes, you're correct. I'll just take one more. I really do want to take one more. Yes, Yamini, you can go ahead.
If you all don't mind, may I just give an example? Am I even audible? Hello?
Yes, you're audible, but you're like very feeble. Repeat it once again.
If you all don't mind, may I just give an example?
Oh yeah, sure. And we'll move on.
Let's take a 10-year-old child and he just starts to listen to Snoop Dogg and he's talking about weed and stuff and he's like, I want to have that thing. That's like really be influencing small kids.
Deep. I like it. Great. Put your hands down. Yes. So this is the point that I was trying to like showcase. One, to make sure that you sound persuasive. I think Yamini does a good job in terms of giving me an example. You can also do a couple of things. Like every debating style is very different. So if you want to become like a great debater, try to find your own style. How are you trying to communicate that information? Some of you tell me a definition, some of you tell me an example, some of you tell me a story, some of you tell me, or just like do something which is interesting, grabs the attention of the audience, and impart something which is knowledgeable, as opposed to saying something which is already there on Google, right? I mean, everybody tries to go on Google searches for information. You just have to be different from that. Like can't like challenge Google, but at the end of the day, you can impart the same information in something which is very personal, which is why I just don't like AI. I like AI. It's just like good. It just helps me clear out mundane tasks. Yes, moving ahead. I hope we are clear with the theme of Chandigarh Debate League. It's pop culture. That's the essential, larger, encompassing material that we will be discussing throughout the tournament. So even in your qualifiers, you will get motions which are related to this theme, right? And motions are called topics. So you do not have to say, oh, I'm going to debate on this topic. You just say, I will be debating on motion. Motion is a classy way of saying it. So please try that. Moving ahead, I want you all to be pretty okay because of Saurabh. I genuinely can't see those dates. So sorry if you can really remove that, I would love it. But if you can't, it's completely fine. Yes, so key tournament dates. Great that you cleared all your schedule and classes for this. So just keep a pen or paper, just take a screenshot of this. So 31st to 2nd, I'm gonna be personally taking your training session. And these training sessions are all be what you will be doing, what is the format. Anybody who's like non-aware about it, they can probably just like get aware. Things are pretty good here. And the training sessions are held from 6 p.m. to 7:30. So I'm going to be staying here for, let's say, 1 more hour with you, and I'm going to be explaining it. What is 5th August? 5th August is the day where you apply everything that has been discussed in your training sessions. So you have qualifiers. So there are two formats, right? Turncoat and WSDC. So qualifier Turncoat is going to start from 9 a.m. in the morning and end at 1 p.m. in the afternoon. Qualifiers for WSDC starts when Turncoat ends. So it will start from like 3 p.m. and it will go until 8:30 p.m., right? So you will have like a couple of extraneous understanding of what debating format looks like, how will you apply it in real life for tournaments such as this. So that is what 5th August actually has for you. I'm gonna wait and check what's happening in the chat box. Yeah, finals are on 14th of August. Yep, that's lovely. If you have like more doubts, you just like put it in the chat. What's 12th of August? Oh yeah, wait, it's 14th of August, not 12th of August. Just like I'm gonna clear that. Let's say I'm gonna edit this as well. So it's 14th and not 12th. Okay. 14th, you will have finals. So people who do remarkably good in qualifiers, which means they top high in the tabs. Tabs is somewhat you'll be given when you register, or let's say you'll be informed about the tabs. So don't worry. The last round about semis and finals are going to be held in Chandigarh. So you will have to book your tickets. You will have to, let's say, come to Chandigarh and debate, like have a great experience. Like offline debating, I would prefer any day over online debating. That's like the beauty of debating. Yes, Tanmay.
Hello. So can you please tell what's the full form of WSDC?
Oh yeah, it's World School Debating Championship. And Tanmay, can you write that down in the chat box as well so that everybody like sort of gets it?
Right. Okay.
Great. World Schools Debating Championship is, even if you like cut WSDC all out, it's schools of all the world trying to come together, debate, and that's a championship. It's World Schools Debating Championship. Yes, I hope everybody is clear with the key tournament dates, because if you really miss it, I'm going to repeat it again. It's not 12th, it's 14th. And 5th, you will have qualifiers Turncoat, which means it starts early morning, 9 a.m. It's not that early as well. And it ends at 1 p.m. So you're going to be free for the entire evening. People who are not free in the entire evening are people who are doing WSDC. So it starts at 3, it ends at 8:30 p.m. And yeah. Yeah, what is the schedule for the masterclass? This actually answers a question about what is going to happen in this masterclass. But before that, I'm going to just it. TC's Turncoat, yes, TC's Turncoat. WSDC is like written by Tanmay. Bhavya, yes, Bhavya, you have a doubt. Go ahead.
Ma'am, I chose Turncoat. So during that, you'll be telling me that now you have to tell the pros or now you have to tell the cons.
Yes, so Turncoat, you do not get like that kind of instruction. So if you're turncoating, it means you will have to speak for, you will have to then turn your coat, which means I'm going to give you tactics how to turn your coat, right? So there's nobody who will instruct you that, hey, now you have to turn your coat. You have to do that yourself, because if somebody interrupts you, that's genuinely bad for the flow of debating that you're trying to do.
And
Yes, but I'll explain you that. Yeah.
The total timing that we should give the speech, the duration.
So the total time of Turncoat is 3 minutes for you guys. And I'm going to tell you how to spend that 3 minutes. So yeah, you just have to stay if you're turncoating. Yes, you're turncoating. So yes, you'll have to stay. Yes,
topics will also be given. The topics will be given.
Yeah, topics are going to be released. So don't worry. Like at the end of the session. Yes, so there we Okay, wait, you're still Afro beating. Why don't you do one thing? I'll give you like enough time for fixing your mic. Just write your, let's say, doubt in the chat box. I'm going to address it. Yes, okay, Tanmay, you don't have a doubt, right? Just like put your hands down. I just like massive OCD. Yeah, well, there you can also like put your hands down. I'm going to address it in the chat box. Yes, what will happen in the training masterclass, like the session that we're having right now, you will have 3 sessions. The first session is today. So you will have like an orientation, which is happening right now currently. What is happening in that orientation? You will have a theme intro. Theme intro was pop culture. Like everybody of you enthusiastically participated. So that was like a good thing. Second thing, I'm going to release the tournament schedule. So all of you actually saw the schedule right now. So you're pretty much clear about the way things are going to be proceeded. And I hope you have no doubts whatever was discussed in the orientation. Because if you really leave this orientation with a really confused or muddled head, like, hey, I don't know what's happening on 5th, I don't know what's happening on 14th, it's going to be bad because it really affects the flow of you preparing for tournament as well. So I want you to be clear as well. After I'm done with orientation, so people who will be participating in WSTC have to join me tomorrow, same time. I will be explaining what WSTC is, right? So after I'm done with orientation, I'm going to give like certain introduction, like certain instructions. The second part of the orientation is specifically going to be for people who are doing Turncoat today. So the training schedule is divided into two parts. The first day is going to be dedicated for Turncoat individuals and somewhat like an introduction of WSDC. WSDC people have to join me tomorrow same time, and I'm going to tell you what WSDC is, how to do, how to write a speech, what is the format, who is proposition speaker, who is opposition speaker, and what kind of modifications do we have in that format, tips and tricks for creating like a comprehensive, i.e. like an elaborative case, etc. So I'm going to do that tomorrow for WSDC. The same thing I'm going to do for people who are debating Turncoat. So Bhavya, you will have to stay back. Yes, so that
Okay,
is
thank you,
the
ma'am.
schedule. Yes. Session 2, I told you it's about WSDC people. I will give you format details. I will give you tips and tricks. I will like genuinely clear your doubts, whatever you have. The third day is going to be mock. Mock is like training. Like you understand everything in theory, right? So after like today and tomorrow, you will have like a clear idea of what you're doing for the past 2 days. The third day is about practice, which means I will have mock debates organized for you, or I will give some of you an opportunity to like say your speech here. Like, do not reveal your ideal like speech that you will be speaking on qualifiers like right now, but I'm going to give you one topic. I'm going to choose certain people. You will have like mock debates here and you will generally have fun. In short, we will have like a practical understanding of what we've been studying theoretically on the third day as well. Any doubts? Will you tell all the format regarding Turncoat? Yeah, today I'm doing that as well. Yes, I'll take doubts. Sayuri first, then Arush.
So for the third day, do the Turncoat participants need to attend? Since from what I can see, it's mainly for debates.
No, Turncoat has to join as well. Okay, here's a clarification. I'm not restricting people who are from Turncoat or WSDC to not join any session, right? Even if you want to understand WSDC, even if you want to understand WSDC as a Turncoat kid, why don't you join sessions all 3 days? If you do not want to join, like, that's up to you. I mean, that's the choice that I give you. So nothing, like you, all of you guys have to join like every day, but I'm just telling you what I'm going to do all days. So if you're not from WSDC format, but you want to stay because you want to understand WSDC, please join me tomorrow. Or if you're a WSDC kid who wants to understand what Turncoat is, please stay for the entirety of the session, right? If you think you can't because you do not have the capacity, feel free to like leave. That's completely fine as well. Yes, Arush. On third day, we're having all like Turncoat people have to debate, debate people have to debate. Yes, Arush.
Yes, I've already cleared my doubt. I'm done with that. Thank you, ma'am.
Oh, that's nice. Yes, Udavi, if you can try unmute your mic. Or don't. Don't. I told you, just write it in the chat box. I'll address it. Yes, Mansirat.
Ma'am, I was asking you, will you please post this session in the WhatsApp group as I'm having a sort of net issues? Okay, thank you, ma'am.
You guys don't have to worry. I'm recording for a reason. Yes, anybody else who has a doubt, I want you to ask doubts if you have like anything for the schedule in and of itself. Yes, Mehak.
Actually, I was asking that for Turncoat, like they speak from both, perspectives. Can you be like more specific about them and like give us an example?
Oh yeah, I'm gonna come to Turncoat. Like after the orientation is done, all of you guys who are doing Turncoat has to stay back because then the actual training session for Turncoat people will start. I'm just like doing a very let's say distribution kind of job. Like, hey, today I'm gonna do this, tomorrow I'm gonna do this, so that everybody's clear what's happening. So even if you like join the session, at least you know what's gonna happen in that respective session. So everything discussed about Turncoat, people who do want to stay back for Turncoat, they have to do it regardless because Obviously, I mean, I'm going to tell you the format post this orientation. Orientation is going to end when your questions end. Yes, Mansirat. What if I'm not available on the 5th? Okay, Nitya, if you're not available on the 5th, which format are you in? Just write in the chat box which format and what time are you not available. Any ways do the WSDC kids have to stay back right now? WSDC kids do not have to stay back, but if you're like enthusiastic about learning like about Turncoat, you can stay back, but your job is to join tomorrow because WSDC is yes, Manit.
Okay. So whenever you start with a turncoat explanation, can you please just announce that, okay, I'm starting with turncoat explanation. So
Yeah.
now you can leave.
Oh yeah, obviously I'm gonna do that. Yes, Yamini.
Yes, so you just said that on mock debate session. So we can we just like flip our topics like on one day I'm speaking about other artists and on the other day another. So you just said that we have to give an idea about how we're gonna do. So in the practice on the practice day we can just flip our topics, right?
Oh yeah. Wait, your voice was really muffled. So if you can write that in the chat box as well.
All right.
Could you let me know if on August 5 we'll be debating as teams or individually? It depends. Okay, your WSDC will be debating as teams, so don't worry. I'll release like whoever is in which teams as well. So don't worry about that.
All right.
Every
Thank you.
information, every information that you think is needs to be posted on WhatsApp, like your teams, this slide, this recording, my contact, it's gonna be there in the group. So yeah, that's not a worry. Like for you to approach for resources is not something that you have to worry about. Like if you're holding a tournament, we ensure that people get to know what's happening. Like if they do not, like that's like bad. Yes, Yamini. Okay, wait, Yamini, you have to write in the chat box. Yes, if you guys can lower your hands, I think people are clear with what the schedule is. Yes, I'm gonna give out qualifier schedule as well. So Turncoat have to stay back. Yeah, you guys have to stay back. I'm gonna announce that as well. Who have to stay back, who has to like leave. Yes, what's happening are qualifiers. Okay, qualifiers is the day which is 5th August. So 5th August is the day where you actually put everything in practice. Like, hey, I learned Turncoat, I'm gonna do Turncoat on 5th. So 9 a.m. you sort of like log in, which means you open Zoom and you come inside. I'm just trying to explain that in the most simple manner I can ever be so that you guys are pretty much clear about everything. 9:30 to 10:30 a.m. is going to be round 1, which means Turncoat is divided into 3 rounds, right? You will have 3 different topics for all of these rounds, and you will get an opportunity to prepare them right beforehand. So you are not clueless at all. So round 1, you will have Turncoat. So you will have to do the same thing in round 1. You will do round 2, you will do round 3. So all of these are divided into times. So 9:30 to 10:30 is round 1. 11 to 12 is round 2. 12:30 to 1:30 is round 3. Are we clear on this schedule, Turncoat people? Great, I see no hands. What is happening after this? Turncoat people, your job is done. You just have to do 3 rounds. You get to speak on 3 different topics in 3 different levels and you're sorted. The results will be declared like after everything is done. So you will not get your results on the day of your qualifiers. You will get it like one day after that. Yes, what's happening after lunch? So people who are doing WSDC, your job starts now. So 3 p.m. Okay, wait, before that, I'll just look at the chat box. So we can speak. Yeah, you have to do all 3 rounds. Okay, I hope all of you have like heard this game called Clash of Clans, if I'm correct. So you have to do every round to qualify to show your progress as well. If you skip one round, that's on you. Like if you're skipping one round because obviously you had classes or anything like that, you probably just can't do it, right? But I prefer you, if you've registered for a tournament like this, I want you to stay and do every round. It's about the way you play your game. That's all. Yes, topics of these rounds will be shared. Yeah, it will be shared today. Don't worry. So yeah, ma'am, can we see your speech and say? Okay, about this, I'm going to discuss this in Turncoat. because you're a turncoat, Shrish. I won't be available on 5th of August. Now what should I do? Okay, Vrinda, I want you to tell me what time are you not available and which format are you in. And yeah, may I just just join by 6:10 tomorrow as I have a test? Yeah, no worries. So turncoat have to stay back. Yes. Yeah, great. Any other doubts?
Ma'am, I just wrote another message to you.
Oh yeah, okay, okay. Yeah, sure. No worries, Amini. Ma'am, will the stay of turncoat will be shared in group? I don't get that question, Mansirat. All day because I have some competition that day. Oh, Vrinda, okay. So, okay. Vrinda, that's unfortunate. What can you do? You can stay for this training sessions if you're available. You can understand what turncoat is, and we have more tournaments coming. Like we will have like we are having Chandigarh, we might have some other state. We will ask you to register, and you can register for that thing, and you can do turncoat then if your schedule is free. Okay. If you want to understand what turncoating is, you can do it. Ma'am, when will you start turncoat training? I will do it, Sheesh, no worries. I'll just do it in 5 minutes. Okay, thank you. Round 3 for WSDC will also be impromptu. Yeah. So 2 rounds in WSDC is prepared, 1 round is impromptu. Okay, coming to what WSDC has to offer you. Lunch break. So obviously, people who are doing turncoat, you're free to like leave, watch anything, just do read, like play outside. Coming to WSDC, 3 p.m. you guys have to log in your Zoom links, right? Sure that you're pretty much vigilant about it and you're punctual. Nobody has to be late, right? If you guys are late, it genuinely delays the tournament. 3:30 to 4:30 p.m. It's round 1 of WSDC. So WSDC has 3 rounds in total. 2 of them are prepared. What is the prepared round? You get a motion beforehand, like you get a motion like 2 days, 3 days prior the debating tournament, and you get an opportunity to, let's say, prepare about it and speak it. So you have like a prepared material that you have to speak from. So that's not an issue. Round 3 is impromptu. Impromptu is you get to speak, you get the topic then and there, and you get preparation time. And the preparation time is going to last for like an hour. So you get like, let's say 60 minutes of like good amount of preparation, so you can do that. So that's the difference of WSDC. 3:30 to 4:30, 1 hour round 1, 5 to 6 round 2, WSDC, 6:30 to 7:30, your topic will be released, your motion is going to be out, and you will get like preparation time for it. So 1 hour is dedicated to your preparation. 7:30 to 8:30 is going to be last round of WSDC, which is impromptu. Are we clear on that? Recording will be shared. Yes. Turncoat have to stay, right? My question is that video. Yeah. I'm telling you guys, video is going to be shared. You do not have to worry about it. Yes, Samriddhi, go on.
Yeah, ma'am, I actually wanted to ask, like, for the prep time, can we use an external source like our phones or laptops?
Okay, this is like a really tricky question, I would say. Why? Because I do not appreciate people who start like looking at Google or try to like copy their speeches from Wikipedia. So, and this is something that I can't really stop, right? I can't really stop you from going ahead and Googling it out. So there's no absolute control about it. So even in your preparation, if you want to use like Google, you can do it, but I genuinely recommend to use your, let's say, predisposed knowledge for the kind of speeches that you make. But if you really want to use like Google, nobody's stopping you like do that. I mean, nobody is genuinely checking until your parents are really strict. I hope that answers your question, Samriddhi.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Okay. Now, guys, this is the last slide for everybody who's joined today. Not everybody, like Turncoat people have to like stop. WSDC debate participant, what's happening with you? Join tomorrow, okay? Same time. Tomorrow, I'm going to do 3 things with you. Format details. What is the format of WSDC? Second, what are the tips and tricks? Like, how will you do WSDC? Last thing is going to be doubt clearance, because WSDC is a little, I would say, a complicated format, and you would need like a lot of time to even understand it. So I'm going to entertain any and all doubts. Debate teams will be shared on 2nd of August. So whoever is your team, it's going to come out on 2nd of August, right? Who are you debating with, etc. All that information. In case you've shared your preference, which means I want to debate with this person, it will also be shared. Like, do not worry about it. Like if Yamini wants to debate with Samriddhi and Manit, it's going to be out. Like you do not have to worry about like, hey, I registered with Samriddhi, but you gave me like a random person. Second, in case you haven't given preference, we will pair you. Like if you do not have like, I wouldn't say if you do not have friends, but we will genuinely make you have friends this year. So yeah, you will be paired with random people. Random people know they're good debaters. Yes. Now, guys, WSDC people, you can leave the meet. Your orientation is done. The orientation for everybody is done. What's advisable? Turncoat people, you have to stay back. Okay.
Excuse me.
Oh yeah, I'll
I have
take
a
doubts.
doubt.
Yeah. Yeah, we go ahead.
Yeah, so I'm WSTC's participant. So I wanted to ask about the in impromptu, like the round 3 and round 1 and round 2. Can you please explain it? Like round 1 and round 2 motions will be given beforehand.
Yeah. Round 1 and 2 are prepared. Round 3 is impromptu. Like you will be given motion 1 hour before it, and you will be given like 60 minutes to prepare about it. So it's impromptu.
So it's not gonna be like you're gonna give motions on spot and you're gonna have preparation time for that.
Round 1 and 2 is prepared, which means all your motions are going to be released like I would say tomorrow or day after at max. So you will get like 3 or 2 days to prepare about it. For round 3, you will get motions 1 hour prior. So you get like 1 hour to actually prepare about it. That's only true for round 3. For round 1 and 2, you will get that topic. Any other doubt?
And the quarterfinals and semifinals and finals are gonna be like the round 3 or like the round 1 and 2.
Okay, out rounds is somewhat not decided. So like out rounds, you will have topics which are impromptu, right? So yeah, when you qualify for like semis and finals, it has to be more competitive, right? So it's impromptu.
And also one more thing, which debate pattern are going to follow? Is it going to be APD or PPT?
Asian parliamentary debate.
Okay, thank you so much.
Great. Yes, Grant.
Ma'am, I have a really important doubt that we have to face our preferences like the person we have given the name of.
Okay, so Grant, when you registered, you had this opportunity to like state your preferences. If you've given your preferences, and if you really want to, let's say, give your preferences, you can just like write that in the group. So yeah, that's an opportunity I would give you. But yeah, other than that, I think most of your teams are finalized. It's going to be released on 2nd of August. So it's great that you debate with like new people. So yeah, if you want to give out preferences, sure. Yes, Yashika.
So, ma'am, we are teams with our preferences, or we are facing them.
Sorry.
Actually, ma'am, I'm saying that we are teams with our preferences, or we are facing them head on.
Okay, I don't understand your question. So okay, so you're not facing people who you've chosen. Like you will face people who are random. It depends on number of wins that you have. Which means if you won like all 2 rounds, you will face like the top team. If you like lost 1 round, you will face somebody who is in your bracket, right? Which has like one win. So yeah, it depends on your number of rounds you have won. So it's going to be random people. It's allocated differently.
Okay, ma'am.
Yes, Yashika. Any other doubts? I'm going to take it and then I'm going to start.
Yes, ma'am, I have a doubt.
Oh, yes, Saurav, raise your hand.
Yes, ma'am.
Saurav, raise your hand. I'm going to take
Yashika.
So, ma'am, can we
yes,
actually choose if we want to speak in against or the favor of a particular notion, or it will be pre-decided?
You can't choose who you're debating against. I mean, that's going to be unfair. Come on. You can choose who you want to debate with. That's the opportunity that's there. You can't choose who you debate against. Yes, Saurav.
Yes, ma'am. So, ma'am, the team who's gonna win the first round, they will only get the chance to perform in the second round, or ma'am, all the teams are going to perform in the next rounds.
I don't get your questions. Say,
ma'am, the rounds, ma'am, like, ma'am, you said that, ma'am, in the debating league, ma'am, there are rounds, ma'am, round 1, round 2, round 3, ma'am, the first 2 are from the like preparation round, we get the days for the preparation, and ma'am, the third is like, we can say like it's on the spot, ma'am, like we barely get an hour. So, ma'am, the team who's gonna win like the first round or maybe perform well in the first round, then they will only get the chance to perform in the second round, or all of the team will get the chance. All.
Okay, qualifiers. Yeah, qualifiers is called qualifiers for a reason. Everybody will debate every round. So you do not get an option to like, oh, I'm gonna leave round 1 because I could not like I will leave round 2 because I couldn't like debate in round 1, anything like that. Until unless you have a like real issue, like you're sick, you have classes, you have assignments, you have tests, I can't do round 2, round 3, skip it. But if you all like everybody has to debate all of the rounds, that's no exception. Yes, I'll take Hanshika. Yep, Hanshika. And meanwhile, guys, you can now leave. WSDC people, you're free to leave if you have all the doubts being cleared. And I'm going to start with Turncoat in the next 4 minutes. And I'm going to like generally showcase like a screen which sort of says, hey, welcome to Turncoat. Yep, I'm going to take like 4 more doubts. Yep. Go ahead.
Will we be told that we are against or for the topic prior to the qualifiers?
No. Your side is not decided. So when you prepare, you have to prepare for both the sides. On the day of the round 1 and round 2, you will get to see which side you are on. So if you've prepared from both the sides and if you're given 4, you will debate for 4. So you have to prepare regardless.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yes, Arush.
Yeah, so I had a doubt regarding the team that we will be like there would be a pre-made team against the other pre-made team, or what is it?
The teams, okay, so you will have like pre-made teams, that's for sure. Everybody of you will be allocated with 2 other people. So let's say Harshini, Sehal, Shrish is one team, Brahmjot, Mehak and Granth are other team. So you will get, all of them are like pre-made. So you will get an opportunity to speak with your partners and form a group of your own and discuss and just like prepare with each other before round 1 starts of WSDC. So that's not an issue. So yeah, it's a pre-made team against a pre-made team.
So it would be told that we have to prepare against or for, or we have to, in that one also, we have to prepare for both against and for.
I told you, round 1 and round 2, you have to prepare for both the sides because you
Okay.
don't know which side you will get.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes. Okay. Arush and Saurav are done. I'll take doubts. Okay, who's unmuted? Great. Unmute yourself. Yes, Amriti.
Ma'am, so for the promptu round, will we be getting the knowledge of the side we are speaking from, like for or against?
Sorry?
And like for the promptu round, will we be getting the information about the side we are speaking from?
Oh, yeah. So whenever like right after round 1 is starting, you will get to know which side you're speaking on, right? So you have prepared everything. Right after round 1, like 1 minute, 2 minutes before it, you might have a actual knowledge of which side you are on. And you will have like a prepared team right after it. Then, okay, then you're muted. Yeah, unmuted. Yeah. Great. Round 3, right after like motion, right before motion is released, which means let's take right before and after, you will know which side you are. After every round, you will know before every round, you will know which side you're speaking on. So that's like not an issue.
Okay,
I'll take Hershey.
Out regarding Turncoat as well, like in Turncoat also will we have impromptu or is it prepared all the 3 rounds?
Turncoat is prepared.
Okay.
Yes. Any other? Okay, I'll just look at the chat box, ma'am. Like we have to change from debate to Turncoat now only, can we? Okay, I don't get that question. Will all 3 rounds for TC be prepared? Yeah, it will be. A Turncoat will not be impromptu. No. Turncoat have to stay right. My question is, yeah. Okay, I've answered the question. Okay, Saurabh, you have any more other questions? Yes, guys, WSDC, you feel free to leave. If you want to stay, listen to me for like Turncoat, you can do so. Yes, I'll take Harshini. Yeah.
I have one more doubt. Can we change the sides? Like if I want to change into Turncoat instead of debating, can I do that now?
Okay, that's like a tough, like that's a very last minute decision you made, Harshini. You can drop that in the chat box, like do that right now. Maybe some of the ideal people can look through it, but I don't think so that's possible. But if you want to do it, like let's just try doing that for you.
Okay. Thank you.
Oh, great. I see no doubts. I'm gonna now move to Turncoat. I'm not gonna entertain any other doubts for the orientation themselves. Yes, people who are in WSDC, you feel free to leave. Like it's just fine. I'm gonna start with Turncoat. If you want to stay, you can. But I want to specifically dedicate my another, let's say, 35 to 40 minutes to people who are doing Turncoat, right? Because they're relatively new. And if WSDC people have to genuinely look through it, sure. Yeah. Great. Let's look at Turncoat. Hi guys, people who are doing Turncoat. I want you to do one thing right now, which is rename yourself. I see a lot of WSDC people. Like, okay, so many WSDC people. You really want to stay? Sure, you can stay. But people who are staying, I want you to rename yourself because I genuinely have no idea who all of these people are and which format are you guys doing. Like Reet, Prapsis, Ranvijay, Khushi, Anahita, Kaira, Sachi, Mir. Okay, Mir has done that. Okay, Jessica, Stanton has done that. Real Me Too. I mean, come on. Who's Real Me Too? Anushka Kapoor. All of you guys have to rename yourself. How do you rename yourself? Just write your name. Tell me which format are you, which means Turncoat WSDC, and which category are you from. Okay, few more doubts. That's what I'm asking. That can we change from WSDC to Turncoat right now only? Okay, that's a difficult decision, Sharon. But I want you to put that down in the seniors WhatsApp group. Let's see what can we do. Can we change from TC now, even though we have registered for WSDC? I've answered that question already, which means that you probably have a difficulty doing that. It's a last minute decision, like genuinely. Yes, I'll take two more doubts and then I'll move to the introduction. Yes, Tanmay.
So actually my mom registered me for it and she has no idea what she registered me into. So if you have the database, can you please like tell me which category I'm in? Excuse me.
Okay, yes. Okay, no worries. I'll get back to you, Tanvi. So there are exceptions. Like your mom is just like my mom. Hey Arush, yeah.
Yeah, so ma'am actually had a doubt till the starting the session. So I'll clear it now. I actually registered for whatever that the other competition is. By mistake, I had to get registered for Turncoat, but I accidentally got myself registered into the other one. So can that be changed?
Okay, so yeah, I want you to write that in the WhatsApp group and let me see what can I do after this session.
Okay.
Because
Thank you,
yeah,
ma'am.
okay. This usually happens. This happened with my college application as well. I filled some other course that I wanted to do. So yeah, these are massive decisions that you have to take with utmost consciousness. Great.
I had to do for the Turncoat, but I accidentally did it for the other one.
Oh yeah, no worries. Let me see what can we do about it.
Thank you, ma'am.
Great. People have great. People you've still not like renamed yourself. But yeah, anyway, great. Welcome to Turncoat. So Turncoat, if I look at it that way, Turncoat is just like I wanted to imagine this. So you have a court, and those court is divided into two parts. And that two part is called for and against. For is also called proposition. Against is also called negative or side opposition. And what do you mean when you turn a quote? Which means you move from one quote to the other. So that's the visceral definition. What is visceral? Picturesque definition. Yes, Turncoat is individual speech event. So you have multiple debate formats in the world. You have public forums, you have WSDC, you have Asian parliamentary debate, you have British parliamentary debate, you have Lincoln Douglas format, you have elocution competitions, you have like public speaking competitions. There's so many competitions in the world right now. What makes Turncoat better or what makes Turncoat different from all of these formats? So there are two categories. One is a team category and the other is individual category. So Turncoat is an individual category, which means you have to speak like individually. You do not have any partners that can assist you. Similarly for WSDC, not similarly, WSDC is a team event, which means you will have like a couple of people who will help you, but will not focus on WSD. That's tomorrow. Yeah, speaker speaks for either proposition, which means you speak for the topic or you speak against the topic. What is for? For is basically when you support a topic. Let me take a topic. Yeah. Can anybody suggest me a topic? I want you to come up with a topic. Okay, I'm going to come up with
online classes.
Okay, online classes have done more harm than good. Okay, that's the topic. Yeah, okay, I'm just getting to that. Yes, so the topic is online classes have done more harm than good. You're a Turncoat speaker, which means for the topic is going to look like that you will tell me that online classes have done more harm. What is against the topic? Against the topic is when you negate everything that the first side has said, which means you will say that online classes have done more, let's say, benefits to the society or to the education system at large. So for is when you support a topic in its entirety. Against the topic is when you negate the topic in its entirety. It depends on the kind of motions that you get. That, hey, I like, okay, let's take a very simple statement for people who are very, very new to debating. Apple is a fruit. On for, you will say apple is a fruit. On against, you will say apple is not a fruit. Apple is generally a fruit. I'm just telling you a false thing just to make you guys understand. Yeah. Great. So time limit is 6 minutes for you guys. So 3 minutes was for juniors. Somewhat 5 minutes are for people who are doing the middle category. 6 minutes is for you guys, right? You have to speak for 6 minutes. How will you divide that time? I'm going to go ahead and tell you. But before that, let's just divide the time. 3 minutes you're going to speak for the topic. The next 3 minutes you will turn the quote and you will speak for against the topic. The beauty of Turncoat debaters, you have to present your thoughts on both the top, like both the sides. So you do not have anybody rebutting you. You do not have anybody saying that, oh, whatever you said is wrong. You just have to do that to yourself. So you self-sabotage. Great. So let me take another topic. Great. Can somebody tell me another topic?
AI
Ebooks
ban
versus paper.
Social media.
Okay, social media, I would say, is a word. If you can phrase that into a topic for me, what aspect of
Can
social
be
media?
any topic related to AI? Is it like anything?
Okay, oh yeah, we should replace the world with AI. Okay, that's a topic. Okay, on and for, you will say, yes, we should replace the world with artificial intelligence. On against, you will say, no, we do not want artificial intelligence. We cannot replace the world with artificial intelligence. 3 minutes will tell me why. Like 3 minutes, you will tell me that, okay, yes, artificial intelligence is better than humans. On against, you will say that, no, we shouldn't replace the world with artificial intelligence. So you have to cross-check your own argument within yourself. So you have to probably say yes to one thing. On the same breath, you will have to say no to yourself. So that's like a moral dilemma that people face when they're debating Turncoat, but it's just like very practical. Why? Because it gives you an idea of what you're like, it gives you an idea of what the topic is in its core. So if you understand the topic from both the perspectives, you have a better idea of what you're talking about. But second, you get more knowledge. But thirdly, you understand different dimensions of what the topic is going to bring for you. Yes. When is the motion going to be released? So motion release will happen when I'm at the end of the session. So it's going to take me like another 20 minutes. And in the next 20 minutes, I'm going to show you like all the topic which is there. Great. Room allocations, like which room are you going to speak on? Like which room will you go when you log in on like the day, on the D day, which is 5th of August. You will get it in the group, right? You will get it like by 4th of August, like by night, I would say. And yes, you will know which room you have to go, where do you have to speak. Everything information is going to be dropped in that group. I hope we are clear with this format. Nobody has format related questions, right?
Room refers to the specific links that would be given or anything else?
The link is going to be same for everybody. It's just that you will have breakout rooms. So you will get to know which breakout room are you going.
What does breakout room refers to?
Okay, great. Breakout room. Okay, this is the Zoom interface, right? So people who are very technical with Zoom, they like there's a room within a room. There's another room within that room. So this is the main meeting, right? If I go to like a settings option, I have the opportunity to open. So in this main meeting, I'm going to open more doors. So when you look at a house, you will have like multiple rooms in that house, right? The same thing is breakout rooms in Zoom. You will get to know that which breakout room are you going to break out 1, 2, 3.
Okay. Thank
Yes,
you.
Mehak.
Ma'am, can you like please share some examples of Turncoat speeches with us?
Okay, you want me to share? Okay, I'll do that. At the end of the slides, you will have like YouTube video links. You will probably have, these are like shorter videos. So if you have like ADHD, like if you're really short in memory, you can definitely go and check that out. Short memory, because my attention span is generally very low. So I refer to these videos because I have a better understanding of what Turncoat is. So yeah, you'll get that. Don't worry. But great question. Ma'am, I have the same doubt as Shrish. How do we change quotes without interrupting our own flow and have a smooth transition? I'll explain you. Like they'll like wait for like 1-2 more slides. I'll come to that. Yes, Turncoat, the speech format in its essentiality. So in this format, the speaker speaks from both the sides, opposition, proposition, and opposition. For like very universal thing, just say I'm going to speak for, I'm going to speak for against. So these are the two formats. I hope you're pretty much clear by that. Okay, it's ideal that you divide your time equally. So oftentimes people are like this, that hey, they dedicate like 4 arguments to for side and then they dedicate like 2 arguments to against. That's a bad strategy to take. It's always advisable that you give equal time or equal weightage to both the sides. Like oftentimes people don't know what they're going to speak in against because they have a lot of things to say on for. And I would say do your research in depth, which means you need to have the same amount of points which you had for side in the against as well. So if you have 4 points in for, do the same with against, right? Have the same number of points for opposition because it's going to give you more marks, right? If you really want more marks, if you really want to qualify and go to Chandigarh, you have to like make sure that you divide your time equally, give equal weightage to both the sides. Let's take an example. If the topic is money, I'll take like doubts after I'm done with the slide. So whenever I'm done with the slide, you can raise your hands. Yes. For example, if the topic is money cannot buy happiness and you're in the junior category, no, I'll just take a senior category example. So money cannot buy happiness and you will have 6 minutes to speak, which means you will have to divide your time like this. You can give like a 30-second introduction, then you can dedicate like the okay, if 30 is there, let's start with like simple 3 minutes for and 3 minutes against. Here's a very strategic thing to do when you're doing Turncoat. You can do like an introduction as well. So if you want to dedicate like 10 seconds to introduction, so 10 seconds, you can say, hey, I am, let's say, Bhavya, I'm Mehak, I'm Harshini. I'm going to be speaking on this topic. Like, you can give a small introduction of what the topic is, give me definitions, what is happiness, right? And then you move towards your core arguments, right? What does this core argument looks like? So for, you can say that, hey, money cannot buy happiness because of these 4 reasons. And somebody give me reasons why money cannot buy happiness, and just be really precise. Okay, I see Bhavya. Okay, Bhavya, go ahead.
Ma'am, because money can just buy the materialistic things like emotions and love. They are non-materialistic, and so that I think that gives more happiness than the expensive clothes and things.
Radha, can you tell me why money can buy happiness?
Uh, Actually, I was trying to say why money can't buy happiness. So can I say on that?
Okay, yeah, sure. You guys choose the very convenient side, right? Choose a side which you think is difficult. Yes, Aradha, you can speak from for.
That money can buy happiness.
Oh, for is like money cannot buy happiness. Against is
sorry.
money can buy happiness.
Look, money can buy temporary happiness, but in long term, it cannot buy like satisfaction. It cannot guarantee a disease-free world or a pollution-free city like in your environment. So it can just buy some things which can make you happy for a brief period of time, but not for your entire life.
Strategic, nice. I'm gonna take 2 more people for speaking against the topic. So people who can speak against the topic, please raise your hand. If you're still raising your hand just because you want to take like 4, we'll move it like for the next topic. Like, don't worry, we'll have like 3 more topics to discuss. Yes, Anaya, can you tell me against?
So people have this huge preconceived notion that all we can buy with money is luxury products like handbags and jewelry, But the truth is that one of the things that brings us the greatest joy is generosity and giving to others. And without the resources to be able to dedicate to needy, underprivileged people, we can never experience the joy of giving. And that is one of the greatest joys in this world.
I like it. That's nice. I'll take um Mehek for the
Hello everyone. As like we all know that money can only buy materialistic things, and like faith can change anytime, and like money can't buy happiness, or like you can't be loved with the help of money. You can like just have those materialistic things around yourself and all, but you if you have money you can have food, but you can't have an appetite. If you have money you can like have a nice bed or like nice room, but you can't get sleep. And that's why I think that money in your pocket can't buy happiness.
Great. Thanks. Thank you so much for speaking. Like two people spoke for, two people spoke for against. I'll choose like all of you when we discuss more topics like far away in the slides. Great. So you guys have a clear idea what you have to do, like how you have to present your arguments. So introduce yourself, give like a small definition of what all of this topic means, present your core arguments from for, then move towards opposition. I'll tell you what the transition looks like in the next slide. And in the last, let's say 10 seconds or 20 seconds, or at max 30 seconds, you can conclude. The conclusion has to be balanced. Like, hey, we learned like this from side proposition. We also learned this from side negative. Just like this, all popular culture enthusiasts are probably can be correct or can be negative. So you have to present a balanced conclusion, I would say. Do that conclusion. If you really do not want to focus on the structure, which means you want to simply jump to like, oh, I'm going to speak like for in first 3 minutes, I'm going to speak the next 3 minutes in opposition. You can do that. You do not have to like follow the structure, but it's advisable that you introduce, because everybody has to know who you are, right? And then you can move towards your core argumentation. The last 10 seconds can be dedicated to your conclusion, and that will be the end of your Turncoat speech. 6 minutes, you have to make sure that you dedicate contributing it effectively, bring out the most new matters, bring out like strong arguments, and try to be much more, let's say, confident about your speeches. Try to have a conversation with your judge. That's nice. Great. Speech duration for seniors is 6 minutes. 3 minutes is the division. I don't know how will you divide it. Like, let's say if you want to divide like 10 seconds to introduction, if you want to dedicate like 2 minutes for side, make sure that you divide like for and against equally. So I do not want any compromise in the core thing. If you want to shorten your introduction to just like 2 seconds, do that, but make sure that you do not compromise on your core argumentation. If you're dedicating 3 minutes to side for, dedicate this next 3 minutes for opposition as well. If you're dedicated 2.5 minutes to side, let's say proposition, okay, yeah, this can be a bifurcation. So 30 seconds introduction, 2.5 minutes to your for, 2.5 minutes to against. The last 30 seconds can be dedicated to your conclusion. So that's like a good way that I can probably suggest. 30-sec intro, 2.5 to 4, 2.5 to and then 30-sec to conclusion. Conclusion. Yes, this is how you go ahead and divide your time. Yes, I'll take doubts. Yes, Arush first.
Yeah, so actually, I just wanted to have like a general thing I wanted to ask. I'm actually new to debate, so I have only done debate one time in my school, and that too was still like a amongst my few classmates. That's it, and that's the only debate experience I have. So, as if I do like on the 5th August, or even if I qualify, I have to register myself for the junior one.
No, you are from a senior category.
Okay.
Great. Yes, Tanmay.
So I just wanted to ask if, like, for example, the topics are very obvious. Like, for example, are wars good for you? So can that be like preferential? Like in the conclusion, you said you have to be, neutral about what you're speaking. So can we like end it like war shouldn't be there, but also
Yeah.
that would be okay.
Yeah, that's up to you. Everything that I say is a suggestion. If you want to imply it in your debate speech, sure, that's good. But if you want to try something which is novel, which is personal to you, I mean, I would try for that as well. Great. Do you, anybody else? I would move towards the transition part. In the last 30 seconds of conclusion, do we have to conclude by giving our opinion? You can do so, or just conclude a speech by leaving the argument open. You can do either of them, as long as you have an interesting conclusion, as long as you have a balanced conclusion, as long as you have like open to interpretation, argumentation. Make sure that you end it well. Like that's all. Great. Let's understand tips and tricks, because that is the most important part here. How will you transition? Because that's the question that I've been getting into chat box as well. Yes, 3 tips. First, make it a point to prepare your speech, but also practice it. You will get like enough time, which means you will get motions right now, like in the next 10 minutes. And you will probably have like an opportunity to write and research about it, practice it in front of the mirror, try to like record your speeches, listen to your audio message, where you're shortening, all of these things. B, ensure that you're rebutting your points on for when you go against. This is a question that I got from like one of the participants here. Do we have to rebut each other? What is rebuttal? Rebuttal is when you go against yourself or when you cut points. So let's say my point is the topic is mobile phones are harmful. So that's like a topic. On side proposition, I'm there. So my argument is mobile phones are harmful because it's addictive. Now there's side proposition, like there's another opponent of mine who is from the opposition will rebut me like this. So rebuttal is a fancy word of saying, no, I do not agree with. So side opposition will say, I would like to present a rebuttal to the argument that side proposition said that mobile phones are harmful because it gets addictive. I would like to rebut by saying that no, mobile phones are not addictive because it gives you like a lot of information. So that can be one of the rebuttals, right? So you can do that in opposition as well, but make sure that in opposition, you're trying to rebut everything that your for is said. And you can probably present more argumentations from whatever side opposition is taking. So you can rebut, you should rebut, because it shows like how well versed you are with your topic. Great. Third thing, add an interesting twist to the juncture where you switch your stance. And it's a way of like getting attention from the judges as well. So here's the thing, everybody in the world says that make your speeches interesting. It's for a reason, which means if the judges have been hearing like 7 speeches and they think all of the 7 speeches are boring, I think all of you will be, let's say, relatively marked lower, right? So you want to make sure that whatever you say, wait, is anybody unmuting themselves? I just genuinely got scared. Yeah, please just mute yourself. I'll take your doubts, no worries. Great. So it's make sure that you add like an interesting twist to the juncture. Juncture is like a journey, or let's say where you go ahead and have where you probably have like let's say good debate speeches or like good debate points where you want to overemphasize, where you want to specifically want the judges to like look at your points, right? That hey, mobile phones are harmful. Do something interesting, add an interesting fact. Make sure that your speeches are not that boring. It's not like an information overload that looks like you copied it from Google. Make sure that you do your individual research, like spend like 48 hours or let's say 24 hours minimum researching about the topic, and then you probably put down all your thoughts on side proposition and opposition, then look at what you've written. All of these things can be done. And yeah, make sure that you dedicate like enough time trying to understand what the topic is, what the relevant content of the topic could potentially look like. And yes, add interesting twists. It can be look like interesting introduction, like interesting conclusion, interesting facts, interesting statistics, all of these things, right? Yes, last part, which is very, very important. How do you transition, right? So there's nobody who's going to stop you and be like, okay, now you can speak from against. There's nobody who's stopping you, right? For 6 minutes, you have the floor to yourself, which means you will have to transition like this. One of the suggestions is this. It doesn't mean that you have to follow this in entirety, right? For example, you will say, some people can largely like say this, that, hey, okay, you can do things to transition. When you're done with your for argumentation, you can either do this, that, hey, judges, I am now going to discuss what the flip side looks like. Or you can do one thing, you can add like a very like Jabberwocky kind of like, I heard this kind of name from one of the person who's named Jabberwocky. But yeah, you can either say panel. Panel is like judges. Panel, forget I ever said that. So forget whatever you heard from me from the side proposition or side for, I will now move towards explaining you what the opposition said. So that can be an interesting transition. The third transition then can look like, I do not quite know what possessed me for the last 3 minutes or last 2.5 minutes. I'm going to now discuss the right side, or let's say the left, like the against side or the proposition side. So this is a good way of getting the attention of whatever, let's say the topic that you're trying to present. It doesn't get boring. People know that you're now changing the quote or you're turning the quote. Yeah, so that's just like a transition that I was looking for, and I want you all to follow it. If you have any other interesting idea, you can definitely implement it. Make sure that you're turning the quote is like visible. It's largely like very, very visible to the judges themselves, right? Yep, it's right now. Found the answer in the slide already. Thanks though. Okay, Harsha. Great. Last two things keep in mind. First, have equal number of argument on both the sides. I do not want you all to be like, okay, I'm going to have 2 argument on for, 6 argument in opposition. It doesn't get you marks for balance. Turncoat is all about balance. Point E in the slide, use the last minute to conclude. It's always advisable that you use the last minute to conclude, trying to find out what the balance is. Give me an opinion of yours. What do you think, which side was correct? All of these things you can do it in the last conclusion, right? If you do not want to give conclusion, that's up to you, right? But that's advisable. Like whatever I'm giving you is just like part of the training that I'm trying to like largely implicate here. Yeah. Any doubts? Yes, Bhavya, you can go ahead.
I'm like, it will rebut each other. So it sounds like a debate only. Like,
Yes, so this is a debating competition. So Turncoat is like a debating format. So yes, when you rebut yourself, it's a debate. Like obviously everybody debates in their life.
so like, ma'am, I'm speaking, and one of the like my mates rebut me. So like, but it's like my flow that's going on. So I have to go for the same, or I have to reply the one because I have only 6 minutes.
I don't get your question. There's nobody who's rebutting you. Note you have to rebut yourself. So Turncoat is all about one person trying to present both the sides. For the 30 seconds, you will give introduction. 2.5 minutes, you will talk about, let's say what the foresight is saying. On the flip, which means when you transition, when you go to side opposition, you will have to rebut your own points from for. Like, remember, judges, I told you this. I do not agree with this on side opposition. So nobody externally is genuinely coming and saying, oh, I do not agree with you. That's a
Like, ma'am,
WSDC thing to do.
when I'm saying, and I have to rebut myself only, no one, any judge or
Yeah.
any my mate cannot rebut me.
No. Nobody can rebut you.
Thanks.
Yes, Harshini.
I have a doubt regarding, can we just see and speak our speeches, or is it that we have to learn or something like that?
Oh yeah, good doubt. Okay, so a lot of people say that, hey, can we speak from the paper and speak? No, it's not advisable that you sort of like look at your paper and like read word by word, because there's also marks for manner, which means how you present your arguments. So if you're not interacting with a lot of people, if you're not having eye contact, or if you're having like a slimpy body language, it sort of like shows. But if it's your first time, if you really want to look at your paper, try to maintain some sort of eye contact, try to write bullet points in your paper as opposed to writing full sentences. Like rather than saying mobile phones are harmful because it's addictive, because it's sort of like makes you violent, because you obviously see Clash of Clans, all of these arguments, right? So rather than saying full sentences, you can write bullet points or notes so you know how to explain it. So all of these things have to be taken care of. Yes, Arush.
So I just wanted to get a suggestion in the transition. Like first, if I'm saying for and then I have to go for against. So can we just say, like, in the transition when I'm done for, so you can just say that as we know, everything comes with a like a like a backside or anything like that. So we can say that also. Like every
Yeah,
good
we
thing
can.
comes with a worse decision or a bad thing.
Oh yeah. Yes.
Okay, thank
Which
you.
example are you talking about, Reet? Ma'am, can you please give me the example given here? Which example? About money? Oh, wait, where am I going? Yep, cool. I hope everybody is pretty much aware, but I'll take you Arush a little later. Great. So the larger speech division looks like this. Introduce the topic for 30 seconds, present your arguments for the motion for 2 minutes and 30 seconds, move towards, let's say, arguments against the motion for 2 minutes, 30 seconds. I told you the transition. Conclude your speech for 30 seconds. So that's going to be an ideal speech division. If you want to like dedicate 3 minutes to side opposition, if you want to dedicate your time to side proposition first, because okay, 3 minutes for side for, then 3 minutes for against, you can do that. But it's always advisable that you go from for and against. You do not say, oh, do not start your speech by saying, oh, I'm gonna give like a 3-minute speech on side opposition first, because it's first proposition and then you move towards opposition. So it's always for and then it's against, right? Because every for has a con. So yeah, that is the flow and that is the storyline that you have to focus on. Okay, this is an example of a turncoat debate. It was in the last slide. It's about money cannot buy happiness. So Arik, your doubt specifically pertains from this topic, which I gave you, like money cannot buy happiness. Can anybody explain, reads this topic? Okay, Tanmay.
So I wanted to ask if we have to give a formal introduction of when we are starting with side opposition and proposition, or just start like yes.
It depends on you. If you want to give an introduction, I told you, you can dedicate 30 seconds to your introduction however you want to. If you want to catch the attention of the audience, you can start with a catchy statistic, you can start with the catchy story, and then you can move to, the transition, like, hey, this is now my for, this is my against, this is now my conclusion. So it depends on you if you want to have a formal starting, if you want to have any sort of starting, right? But it all boils down to having a number of argumentation on both the sides. Yes, Arush.
Yes, add what would be like speak or say anything that in the 30 seconds of the conclusion, in what state do we have to conclude it? We have to conclude it in the for state or we have to conclude it in an against state?
It depends on you. So conclusion has to be balanced. You have to give both the perspectives, and it depends on you how you want to conclude. Do you want to have a preference like I only like for, or do you want to give a other preference which also looks like I want to discuss opposition first? So yeah, it depends on you what kind of conclusion do you want to give, but it's always advisable that you have a balance of both the argumentation.
So we can give both for and against in the conclusion.
Yeah. You can conclude by saying that every pro has a con. So yeah, you can have a balanced conclusion.
Okay.
Great. So everybody who is still not clear with the format, I have an example for you. And this example is ban smoking. So on side for, you will ban smoking. On side against, you will not ban smoking. How do you do this? Introduction to the topic. More than 3 billion people smoke in the world. Many people tend to smoke because it gives them stress relief and dopamine rush. So that's like a 30-second of, a catchy understanding, or like a statistic that, hey, imagine the number of people who are affected by this, right? So judges will be like, oh, we should care about it because 3 billion people do this, and maybe I do it. Maybe the judges do it. And the argument for the motion. So after the introduction, you sort of go to the arguments for the motion. The speaker has two arguments. First, it has what health impacts. Second, it affects the environment. Third, it harms the children as they are used in like BD labor. Like if you look at like slums, they actually earn a lot of money by producing tobacco, by like signing up like a weed, or I would say BDs, I would say. Yes, explain all the points. Like if you have 3 points from side proposition, explain it for at least, let's say 20 seconds, because you want to like genuinely do want to make sure that judges understand it. Like nobody knows what BD labor is, right? What is transition? Yes, here's the transition for you. Just because smoking has these harms that I told you does not mean you need to ban it, that there is no benefit at all. Let me tell you why we in fact should not ban smoking. Right, this is a transition. It's very different for what I told you, right? But it can be anything. Like you want to transition it in a, let's say, relatable manner, in a flow that nobody is like disturbing it. Yes, arguments against the motion. 3 arguments again. So when you look at the motion from for, you will have 3 arguments for, you will have 3 arguments for against. So this is a balance that you have to maintain. For against the motioners, it contributes to the economy. Like you can probably have more taxation on, let's say, smoking or let's say tobacco, etc. A second, it is the choice of individuals. Like freedom of choice is one aspect you can expect. Three, it gives them escapism from their life. Escapism is like people who are stressed, who are like, oh, I do not want to do this job. They smoke for like 10 minutes and they're like, okay, we are great. Yeah, so that is like a point that you have to sort of explain. So explain it for 1 minute, explain it for whatever time limit is there for you. Try to have a balance. Conclusion of the speech. This is where your question is sort of answered, Arush. All in all, smoking is surely injurious to health, but banning is not the solution to it. We should have rehab and awareness camps to educate them regarding bad effects of smoking. So in conclusion, the person chose side for, chose side against. Chose side for and against, like in a mix, I would say. But conclusion sort of like gives you like a solution. So even in conclusion, you can provide more solutions. Like, hey, rather than banning, what else should we do? Or we should ban it because banning is good. So all of these things you can largely like focus on. So it can probably give a solution. It can impact it well. It can give a balanced opinion. It can have open-ended conclusions. It depends on you. Any doubts on the example? Yep, I see no. I'll move towards the marking rubric for Turncoat format. Great. How are you judged, guys? Who judges you? Judges are going to be released on that day. So nobody knows who judges you, but what will you be judged on? So the marking rubric for Turncoat format has three things. So you will be judged on three metrics: matter, manner, method. So you will have 30 points in total divided into three parts. Matter, which is content, like what is the person saying? How is this content relevant? Quality of their argumentation, the examples that you say, it's all going to be compiled into 10 marks. Manner is presentation. Like this is a question that one of the person asked, can we read off, right? I would not, like, I would say no, don't read it, because presentation manner means a lot. Presentation looks like eye contact, body language, how well are you dressed, the engagement, are you trying to rebut yourself, what is the ethical contact, are you genuinely looking from like Google and trying to like read your speech, etc. So that's like an ethical conduct manner sort of has. Method is the strategy is the person having both the balances, which means is the person covering both the sides of the motion well, which means if you're having like, let's say 2 argument on for and you will have 3 argument on against, that's bad. You do not want to have it. Make sure that you have balance of argumentation. Second, are they rebutting their stances, which means are you trying to engage with your own points? If you're not rebutting, this means that you've probably not understood the other side as well. Try to rebut your points, right? Try to show that I engage with the other side as well. Thirdly, do they have same number of argument on both the sides? Say yes, this is method. Method is strategy, manner is presentation, matter is content. Any doubts on the marking rubric? I see no.
Is
Great.
the rubric same
Yep.
for the debate?
Yeah. Yes, yes, Arush, and then Tanmay.
So I guess this is like a vague doubt, but I guess I clear it. So after we finish like a speech and that, after that, will the judges like will rebut us and like they say that you said this point and how would you explain it against or for that? Like
No questioning from judges is there. Yes, Tanmay.
okay, thank you.
So I wanted to ask that the qualifiers round is going to be online. So how is the manner going to be judged on online?
You on your camera.
Okay.
Yes, we'll have to open it up. Yeah, great. Motions for Turncoat. Let's understand the interesting part here. So all 3 rounds of the Turncoat will have 3 different motions. You will have to prepare all of them. Attending and preparing for all round is mandatory. Like if you're not doing it, it's somewhat like circumstantial. Like it just depends on the circumstances that you're a part of. Average of all rounds, which means if you're getting like 30 points in one round, 25 in next, and then you get 27 in the next. So all of these rounds marks will be compiled and then it will be considered for semi-finals. So like who is the top speaker, who are probably like breaking top. So yes, like top 10 people, top 20 people, it depends on the list that we have, right? Yes, you can refer to sheets for giving your speech, but do not read out entire speech, right? Do not read it out because everybody will know that you're reading out, like your eye contact is not going to be there. Okay, wait, did I show it again? Oh yeah. Okay, yeah, great. Yes, I'm gonna take like 2 doubts. Tanmay, do you have a doubt?
No, I don't.
Okay, yes, Sharan.
Good evening, ma'am. Ma'am, kindly do a favor. Can you just change my reference from debate championship to turncoat?
Yes, so again, I told this before. This is a late decision, which means drop it in the senior, like drop it in the WhatsApp. Let's see what we can probably
Yes,
do.
ma'am. I have already dropped the message here.
Oh yeah, great. I'll look for it. Yes, let's look at the round-wise motions that we have. And yes, you all were looking for what motions are we gonna debate on. This is the motion finally. I'm gonna explain every motion and then it's up to you for research, right? If I explain and spoon feed all of you, it's gonna be bad because obviously I want you to, let's say, think about it because every topic that I'm gonna like genuinely show you right now, it's related to pop culture. And pop culture is so indebted and entrenched in your life that you get an idea regardless. Great. Senior round one. You all are senior category. Round one motion is this. The lone wolf trope in music does more harm than good. Can somebody tell me what is a lone wolf trope? Yes, Bramjot.
Someone who stands alone apart from the crowd.
Yes, amazing. Yes. So lone is somebody who's lonely. A lone wolf is somebody who, like, if you've heard this very famous idiom, pack of herds. So all of these people who are walking in herds do not have their own individuality because they are a group and they are sort of pack. But somebody who's like a lone wolf, tigers are also considered to be lone, like not lonely, but they're somewhat considered to be very different from the herds, right? So lone wolf is somebody who's like alone, but also somewhat has their own individuality, right? What is a trope? Trope is like a cultural phenomena, right? It's a symbol. Okay, lone wolf trope in music does more harm than good. So it's a comparative debate, which means on side proposition, we will have to talk about why this lone wolf trope, like Flowers by Miley Cyrus. I want you all to go and listen to this music. Understand the lyrics as well, because Miley Cyrus says that I want to focus on myself, I want to care about myself. So that's like a literal interpretation of what Miley Cyrus is talking, right? So the debate is about whether you should like lone wolf troop, or whether lone wolf troop has done more harm, or on side opposition has it done more good. So that's the debate about. Ma'am, this is the only topic for Turncoat, or is it an example? These are the topics that I'm releasing, Bhavya. So I'm releasing it round wise. I'm going to send it in the, let's say, I'm going to send it in the group as well, these topics. So don't worry. Yes, Radhe.
Ma'am, do we have to speak like only on the like reference to this Flowers by Miley Cyrus, or do we can like use examples from other media as well?
Examples are supplementary, which means you can use as many examples that you want. I'm just giving you a reference.
So that means this Flowers is the primary focus, and the others which I can like think about is this are the secondary ones.
Sort of, like you can, if you do not want to keep Flowers by Miley Cyrus as central example, you can also do that, but it's just an example. You have to move beyond the example as well. If you want to quote like any other, let's say, music video, okay, so Animals by Maroon 5 is not lone wolf. A Hymn by The Weekend by Coldplay is not a lone wolf trope from side opposition. Yes, Aradhya, do you have any other doubts?
No, thank you.
Great. Are we clear with this entire topic? Okay, Arush. Yes, Bhavya.
Yeah, so I had like a doubt. We have to speak for this specific song, or we could just deduct this or cut out this music and use some another example of a music and then present it to our judges or the panel.
Oh yeah, I told you this is an example. You can choose as many examples you want to quote. This is just an example.
So we have to specify the song also.
This is just an example, which means you can go ahead and quote as many other examples. The topic is the lone wolf troop in music does more harm than good. Example is like Flowers by Miley Cyrus. You can have as many examples. You can cut out Flowers by Miley Cyrus. It doesn't really matter. But you just, at the end of the day, all your examples have to be focused on, is the lone wolf troop is more harmful, or is the lone wolf troop really great?
Okay.
Great, Bhavya.
Like I have two doubts. The first is like I'm listening it for the first time and I like don't know its meaning. So
Yes, can somebody explain what lone wolf troop is? Or can somebody explain the topic?
can I just take second out first?
Oh yeah.
Like, ma'am, you are giving us three topics for 3 rounds. So means in the first round we all will be speaking on the same topic.
Yeah. So round one, you will have one topic which is universal. Nobody's getting individual topics. Round two, the topic is right now on the screen. Round three, you get a different topic, which is true for everybody else. So all of you guys are debating on 3 different rounds. Yeah. Yes. I'll come to this lone wolf once I'm done with all the explanation of the rounds. But if anybody else can explain this topic to Bhavya, I would really love it because I've been speaking for a while. That counts for 2 hours.
The one with the lone
Mom,
wolf.
could I try?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
I can
Aradhya
try.
can do it. And then one more person who said it.
Yeah, so the lone wolf is basically a person who stands out from the crowd. Like we can say, go, like there's a phrase, go with the flow. So a lone wolf is a person who go against the flow, who does something unique apart from the others.
Okay.
Yes. Great. Let's go to round two. Round two has a context. Context is the information, like is the information that you need, like to understand the topic well. Context is pyrotechnics is a blanket term for special effects tool used in film industry since 1900s. Okay. See, like round two topic is the use of computer graphics must be mandated for all directors using pyrotechnics. Great. What does the topic all about? So pyrotechnics is just like a lot of techniques that you probably use when you're a part of the film industry. This also looks like you or blackening stuff. When you look at like 1900s film, you probably had like special sound effects or you had like weird backgrounds. All of this was because of pyrotechnics, right? So pyrotechnics was done like late 1900s, like genuinely when we were not even born. What the topic say? Round two topic says that we need to use computer graphics, which means Adobe, or maybe you can use Flash, or you can use like Google. All of these things should be mandated, which means it should be compulsory for all directors using pyrotechnics. Right. Okay. So is the motion clear? So on proposition, you are simply saying that the use of computer graphics should be like made compulsory for people who are using or directors who are using pyrotechnics. On side opposition, you are saying, no, we shouldn't use computer graphics or we shouldn't make computer graphics compulsory for directors using pyrotechnics. Is the motion clear? Obviously, there's so much of research.
Yes.
Okay, so somebody said yes. Pramjot, can you explain this topic?
Well, basically, pyrotechnics are the special effects that have been used since we could say the start of the film industry. Now, in the late 1900s, we could say like I'm not sure if well I'm not sure if all of you have watched WandaVision, which came out I guess last year. So, which is a mini series that was released on Disney Plus by Marvel, which also included pyrotechnics, which was not only the computer graphics that they used, like how green screen and VFX and all are used now. It also included like how a magic scene would be shown, which could be shown through like a string would be attached to an object and that would be moved from one side to the other and we can't see the string. So that is also a part of pyrotechnics. And also the top now basically the topic here is that we have to either well not either but first we have to uh, give points about why the computer graphics should be mandated instead of using all the other pyrotechniques and then we also have to speak about how we should how not only computer graphics should be mandated and all the pyrotechnics should be used.
Did you understand the topic, Arush?
Yes.
Great. Yes, round three. Poetry that focus on the ephemerality of life does more harm than good. Now I want you to do one thing. I want you to take 30 seconds, go on Google, search the meaning of ephemerality and come back. And whoever does that first, it's good. Like I want to see hands raised and somebody can explain what ephemerality of life means. Okay, Ramjot.
Mom, ephemerality means that like it's a principle, we could say that something lasts for a very short time.
Yeah. Impermanence. Anybody else who did a good job searching on Google? I genuinely gave you all the most easiest task which is there. Yes,
Like
Bhavya, I see you.
existing, like telling anything briefly.
Yes, impermanence. Yes, Arush.
Yeah, so it's just it's a short meaning. It's a short living in mid 19th century, and it's just a meaning of like passing time, uh, changing, disappearance, transformation, and physiologically ultimate vision of your own existence. That's what I found on Google.
Exactly, that's correct. So poetry that focuses on like impermanence of life, which means life is not permanent. It might have like short span, has done more harm than good. So on type proposition, you will say that this impermanence of life, which is depicted in poetry, has done more harm. On an opposition, you will say poetry that focuses on like the short span of life, it has done more good. So that's the comparator. Any doubts? Yes, Aradhya.
No, I did not have any doubts. I was just trying to explain the topic.
Oh, that's wonderful. Great. Turncoat recap. Thank you so much, which means that I will be sending you all the motions. You will get everything in the group and you will have enough time for preparation, which means today's 31st, right? So you will have like 1, 2, 3, 4, like 4 days to sort of prepare on all of these 3 topics. And you have to speak for 6 minutes on all of these rounds. So on round 1, you will speak for 6 minutes on the topic which was there. Round 2, same thing. Round 3, same thing. What is the Turncoat recap? I've given you certain video links and I've given the Instagram of Indian Debating League. I want you all to like stalk it. I want you to watch debates about Turncoat. And yes, you can definitely join. You can definitely like start joining. You can do tomorrow. You can definitely join tomorrow if you want to understand like, let's say WSTC tomorrow. Yeah, ignore this. Yes, Bhavya.
I'm like tomorrow we'll not get any information about Turncoat, so if we cannot join tomorrow, so it's not any loss.
Okay, so tomorrow I'm gonna do a recap of Turncoat. So if anybody who's like into Turncoat or is doing WSDC people have to join regardless. So Turncoat, I'm gonna give a short recap. So you can have a doubt clearing session tomorrow for 20 minutes. So if you have any doubts, Turncoat people, you can join in. I can surely clear your doubts. But tomorrow I'm gonna dedicate most of my time to WSDC people because that's like a format that I want like people who are doing WSDC to be familiarize themselves with. But if you're enthusiastic about learning things, you can do that by joining tomorrow. If you're not even WSDC, that's good. Like you get to know one more format. Yes, Bhavya.
Okay, matlab like I'll do Turncoat. So if I don't join tomorrow, so I'll not go in any loss.
No.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, Tanmay.
So can you please confirm about that issue, whether which category I'm registered into?
Yeah, just like write down your name in the WhatsApp group and I will send it to the core team and I'll identify which category are you in. Yes, Arush.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, so will this PDF be or PPT be shared
Yeah.
in the group?
Yes.
And also, if you could just get checked for me that I mistakenly registered for the other debating one, but I had to get registered for Turncoat. So
yes, everybody who has issues with like, oh, I don't know I wanted to do WSDC, but I registered for TC. I now want to change for WSDC and I want to go for TC. You can definitely write all your names in the WhatsApp group because I generally would have like a short span of time, or like I have a short memory too, which means you'll have to remind me in the group, right? So just write down every doubt that you have in the group, we'll take it up.
Okay, ma'am.
Yes, any more doubts? I will be sharing the recording, I'll be sharing the PDF, I'll be sharing the slides. And other than that, I will be taking a 20-minute doubt clearing session tomorrow as well. To feel free to join. Yes, Harshini.
Can I know by what time will our doubts be addressed in the WhatsApp group regarding the changes? Like if you want to change from WSDC to Turncoat.
Yes, Harshini, I think again, like this is something that's like very improbable, I would say. So you might also have a negative response because you registered for WSDC knowing that you will be doing WSDC. Now you want to change for Turncoat. So that's like a very hefty decision for us as well, because we now have to shift certain people. It's also going to be unfair for like people who registered for like WSDC. Now they want to like, it's not unfair for WSDC, but I would say unfair for a lot of people, because if they think they can change now, everybody would do it. And that's going to create like logistical hazards for us. But I'll try to take up this issue. We will sort it out by tomorrow. Great. Arshia, Mehik.
Yeah, right. Though I'm from WSDC only, but I want to just take some 1 minute of yours time and confirm something. If we want to erase our preferences and make a team up with any random person, would it be possible even if we have already registered with a preferred name?
Yes, that's possible. Write your queries, explain what your doubt is. It's true for TC, WSDC people who are facing issues with like, okay, I can change my preferences, and we can take up this doubt. So yeah, that's possible.
Yeah, got it.
Great. Any other doubts? If not, you feel free to leave, and the session is over. I'm going to share all the resources and you will have a good time. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you for the session.